Welcome back, guys, to another video. So a guy reached out to me. He actually had a corporate world job question. So I'm actually glad, guys, because look, obviously, I love entrepreneurship. I think it provides the best way to financial freedom, freedom of your own time. You can express your creativity in a whole array of things, especially in today's day and world of the digital online world. But reality check. Most of you guys who are watching this, you're not going to be entrepreneurs. You can start a side hustle, but in terms of like full time, be dependent on whatever entrepreneurship venture that you start, very few of you are going to do it. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of stress. You can't be lazy. You have to be disciplined. You have to be comfortable with sometimes going through a period, multiple periods of instability, stress and setbacks. It is like a roller coaster, right? It's fun, but it can be also very stressful, right? So most of you guys, and again, it's nothing wrong. You're going to be working corporate jobs. I mean, for me, for the better part of 6, 7 years, I mentioned multiple times, I've been working. I worked in the corporate world. It taught me a lot, and I have no regrets. I mean, maybe I probably should have left a little bit sooner, but all in all, I had a great time, and especially if you're in a good career at a good company. There is a ceiling limit. That's one of the issues with the corporate world. So obviously, if you have entrepreneurship aspirations, you may have to do it. And I mentioned in prior videos, do your thing at the side until it builds up to where you can do full time on it. But even then, it's risky. Nothing is guaranteed. So if you're coming out of college, there's nothing wrong with working a corporate job because most entrepreneurs fail, don't make it. So don't just believe all in online. You see so many do it that everyone, it's that easy. No, it's not. So the guy asked me some tips in terms of getting in the corporate world. And guys, again, take it with a grain of salt from my experience, but I try to provide the best tips. So one of the first things I mentioned to him was results matter. Look, guys, anytime you start a job, obviously, I'm going to get to it later in terms of your personality and people skills. But at the end of the day, results matter. If you're not producing good results, if you're not doing great work, especially now with AI, you're hearing a lot of companies starting to cut down on people when they can just replace the technology. If you're not one of the top performers, or if you're not adding any value, then you're going to be one of the first ones that gets cut, that gets fired. Depending on the company, yeah, you may get some kind of severance package, but it's still not worth it. So coming up the mindset that yes, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do the best I can, but sometimes that's not going to cut it. Results matter. This is not school where you get like a C, you did just enough to pass by. In the real world, most of these companies, because I worked in finance at a very, very prestigious company, um, results matter. There's hundreds of people that want that job, and it's very competitive. So, and it's not just competitive from the outside, it's also competitive in the inside in terms of your internal organization. Those of you competing to not only for promotion, but like I said, when it comes to, because they do this, a round of firings, we need to cut to save costs. And usually the first people that are let go are those who are not as experienced. You can make an argue that yes, they want to invest in the future, but especially those who are new, but then also those who are not producing results. Those are on the chopping block. Boom, gone. So results matter. And make sure that yes, learn, but do the best you can. So for me personally, I remember I would spend many, many extra hours kind of studying, practicing, going over, and that continued for years. And for me, it was actually a rough start in the beginning. I thought I was going to get fired, actually, guys, in my first year, but I stuck it through. I just kept on pushing through, and then eventually I became, at the time when I left, one of the, if not the best performer in my group. So that's one. Results matter. Now, number two, I didn't excel in this, but like if you number two is then now your people skills. So right, first is making sure that you actually deliver good results, because if you don't deliver good results, if you're not a good worker, then nothing else matters. Very rarely, especially as you're coming in. But then number two is your people skills. Now you hear about playing the game, guys. Now this is where promotions happen. You get chosen to do certain projects. You're in with the bosses, and this all comes to your people skills, guys. And you're gonna have to kiss some ass. You don't have to bend over, but you're gonna have to bend over a bit and be an ass kisser to your boss, to your bosses. Go to the company get-togethers, go to the happy hour, go to the events. Put in the extra time. Now, so for me personally, because I liked my work, I didn't mind putting in extra work, because I wanted to get promoted. I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to keep my job. Um, so at first I was keeping my job, and then once I kind of established myself, then it was getting a promotion. So I didn't mind putting in the extra work. But for me, going to the events, going to happy hour, making small talk, going to the events, for me, guys, I'm an introvert. Um, I didn't want to play the game. I'm not an ass kisser. I'm cordial. Like, I'm cordial. I'll be respectful to people, but I'm not one to open up conversation, be very friendly, or not friendly. Like, I'm friendly, cordial, but like go out of my way to have conversations with everybody in the office. For me, I just wanted to go in, do my job, do a good job. When needed, put in the extra effort. But then I just wanted to go home and have that time to myself. And then, as I mentioned in prior videos, I used a majority of that time, besides working out and going out and dating, to launching my side companies, my side ventures, my side hustles. That then I can kind of, because guys, after 3, 4 years in, I'm like, no, I'm not working the corporate. I'm not working the corporate world the rest of my life. I can't. I'm not going to spend my life in a cubicle, or even if I got promoted to a freaking office room, that's like a bigger version of a cubicle, like a bigger version of the jail cell. So I said, no, f that. So I kind of then really doubled down on. It was tiring, exhausting, but it was well worth it in terms of spending all my free time, because that was a better scale. That was a better potential than, going to the company events, making it in with the bosses, then getting. I got passed on a few promotions, guys, because of probably my boss, or I wasn't like super well liked personality wise, compared to probably other people in the department. And that's where you have to play the game. You have to, it's life, it's politics, office politics. And if the bosses don't like you, if you do a good job, you're going to keep your job. But in terms of like I said, the promotions, they want to maybe think of like managerial roles for you, stuff like that. You have to be in. You have to play the game. And for me, that's just not me. I can't fake it, and I just know it's all BS on the surface level, guys. You know, I'm not all, but most people in the corporate world, they're kind of slime balls. Like, they say one thing to your face, ha he hoo hoo, they with a smile on, but behind your back, they'll probably, they'll do something not maliciously, but maybe you never know, right? Then they say one thing, but behind your back they do another. That's just the game of office, the corporate world, guys. So I told the guy that, uh, play the game, be nice, be maybe in the beginning, go to the events, but if this is truly for you, continue it. But if you realize that it's not for you, then like what I did, start a side hustle if you can, or just double down, do good work, and don't expect like to be promoted much. And if you're able to establish yourself, have a good stable income, then for most people that's enough, because then they maybe want to get married. All their free time is, to their girlfriend, wife, and kids, or their hobbies, right? They just like a comfortable life. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll leave it at this, guys. But as AI matures, these comfortable jobs are not going to be so comfortable anymore. And, you're going to be seeing a lot of these jobs outsourced, right? When I was working at that time, jobs in terms of outsourcing was to like India, and Europe. So now, not only that, because you can hire for cheaper, right? But not only that, but now AI technology is going to be replacing a lot of these jobs. So bear that in mind, guys. It's not to be scary or anything, because there's still thousands of corporate jobs, right? But in terms of choosing a career, I would suggest, learning some AI skills, um, that will be in demand. And then, so you actually have something to offer, because these are probably going to be more and more in demand. So those were my tips, guys. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the corporate world. I liked it. I learned a lot from it. It was a good chapter in my life, and then I decided that that was enough. On to the next thing. So hopefully, you guys, maybe you're in the corporate world or you're getting to the corporate world, you guys got some type of value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions that you want me to give some feedback on, send me an email down below. I'll take a look at it and we'll go on from there. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.